Thanks to everyone who have subscribed. If you have not, please do. And thanks for coming out here. I really appreciate you. Presidency replies Soyinka for attacking Buhari. The presidency has replied Nobel Prize winner Professor Wole Soyinka over his comment that the declaration of total lockdown in Lagos, Ogun, and Abuja by the president was illegal. The presidency, in a statement issued by presidential spokesman Garuba Shehu, lambasted Soyinka over his comments. Yesterday, the estimated, the highly esteemed Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka made a comment on the legal status and description for 14 days lockdown pronounced and announced by President Muhammadu Buhari. Professor Soyinka is not a medical professional. His qualifications are in English literacy, and his prizes are for writing books and plays for theaters. He is not, of course, titled to his opinion, is of course entitled to his own opinion, but that is exactly all they are. Not science. They cannot and should not therefore be judged as professional expatriates in the matter regarding law. In this matter, he has no shape or form. Across the world, from parts of the United States, China, to countries including the United Kingdom and France government, mandated lockdown, mandatory lockdown are in place to slow down the spread of coronavirus. All have declared it and have been made necessary based on medical and scientific evidence. The guides for Nigerian government medical specialists is to advise the same. Professor Soyinka has also declared doubtless basis on his specialty as a playwright. We are not in a war emergency, Shehu said. According to Shehu, eminent scientist says otherwise. Dr. Richard Archie, head of the International Collaboration for Fight Against the Pandemic Innovations, Biomedical Advisor Researcher Development Authority, has said war is an imminent danger, and that is the only case and when you declare emergency. Professor Anthony Francis, director of the United States National Institute of Allergies and Infectious Diseases, and members of the White House Coronavirus Task Force, has said in the battle against the pandemic, it's almost like the fight of the war against the fog. As for the legality of the lockdown, the government of Nigeria's primary duty in law and action is the defense of the people of Nigeria. We face a global pandemic. Nigeria is now affected. The scientific and medical guidance of this from across the world is clear. The way to defeat the virus is to have it spread through imminent movement of people and distancing. Perhaps Wole Soyinka may write a play on the coronavirus pandemic after his emergency is over. In the meantime, we ask the people of Nigeria to trust the words of our doctors and scientists and not mere fiction writers, as at this time of national crisis. Soyinka is not aware and have no clue what science is really talking about. He is illiterate in, in arts and theater play. Well, the presidency has replied Soyinka. If you listen to our news yesterday from Apple Line Media, you will see that Soyinka replied the president saying, what you have done is unlawful. You are not supposed to issue a lockdown without proper proceedings. I'm talking about getting approval from the House and discussing with the House first of all before going about issuing a case of lockdown. Anyway, Garuba Shehu here has replied and showing her that he's not aware of the he's a playwright. He writes for theater, and he might not be totally aware. But these are the things that goes on in science. The head of medical, all those that are related to this, researchers and all that, has declared that this is the way to curb the spread of coronavirus. He said because you know he's a playwright, so he might not totally get the science of what is going on. This is where words of war words between the two. Remember that Soyinka is one of those, including Obasanjo, that brought Buhari to the south. Painted him and presented him to the south that this was the savior of the economy, and as such, people should support him dearly. And Nigerians came solidly behind him to support him. But lo and behold, really and truly, work started, and they were surprised that probably they might have made a mistake. So every now and again, when the president goes out of line, these are part of the critics that are working in a place like, in terms of like, every now and again, these are people that criticize Buhari and put him in check. That what you're doing is not right, or this is not legal, or you stepped out of ban. Apparently, the lockdown, lots of Nigerians have been reacting. Even a lawyer saying that he's going to sue Buhari after the lockdown unless he retraces his steps. It's been a legal matter. It's been an issue of debates going on and on and on. Just saying what President Muhammadu Buhari has done, what the presidency is doing, it's not legal. He should have consulted the House. He should have started with a state of emergency. And when he's done with that, he could have probably have gone ahead then to speak to the people and let them know this is the issue. Then the House would have looked at it and see if it was necessary for him to work in that capacity or to take those steps. Anyway, we know Garuba Shehu is the one of those that speaks for Buhari. Buhari does not speak for himself. He has these people around him that speak instead of him speaking. Presently, Buhari has still not spoken after the pre-recorded message that we got, where we saw an aberration that looks like the president speaking to Nigerians. It's been a topic of debate if that was really the president, and we got to know later that the live broadcast that was supposed to be a live broadcast was actually a pre-recorded message. So before then, Nigerians have totally, and everybody, even the House, saying that Buhari should address the people. He shouldn't be told before he addresses the people. Okay, no worries. Fast forward. On addressing the people, he came around and he said, well, the people, they should stay at home, locked down for 2 weeks for Abuja, for Lagos, as well as Ogun. That has been a serious topic for debate. People saying it was not in the president's place to say such things. He has no total power over what he just said. So that's been the issue and the bone of contention. The person of Soyinka also talked about that what President Muhammadu Buhari did, his speech regarding lockdown was not is not supposed to be. He's supposed to seek consultation from the House, get an approval before going about doing that. Well, the presidency has replied and said, no, you can't do that. Um, this is wrong. You know, uh, we don't blame him. He's a Nobel Prize literate. His prizes are in arts, not in science, and he does not have a total knowledge of what he's talking about. So these are some of the issues and the matters that are reaching us now. Um, Shoinka has thoroughly been replied by Garuba Shehu from the presidency, saying that Shehu, Shehu said Shoinka is not in touch with reality of what is going on, and mentioned countries where lockdown has been applied, that it is a way of curbing the spread of coronavirus. No doubt, he has spoken well that it is a way. you know. So now the matter be this: they don't reply. We reply Soyinka saying that he's not aware of what he's saying. He has lost touch of what he's saying. Well, what do you think? These are the issues here today. Thanks for listening. God bless you. Have a good day.